Backing up is fun. Not.
Lady in the street, diva in the seat. She's a truckin' lady, truckin' lady.
No, I'm just playing. Hey y'all, thank y'all for joining the Truckin' Lady here. So, I last left off. Just had basically got my permit. Was on the road to Dallas. Got to a truck stop. Um, my first experience backing into a dock. That was fun. Of course, it's intimidating because driving a car used to having a rearview mirror, but no, don't have a rearview mirror. Don't have the capability just to turn my head and see what's behind me outside of looking in my mirrors. So I had to really develop my depth perception. That was a challenge in itself. Also, just knowing when to turn my wheel to get the trailer into the door. Mind you, with your permit, you're still trying to develop your skills to pass the test. So you have to have backing skills. There are different skills that you have to display to pass the test. Straight back, offset, which is basically you're basically trying to go to the space, on either side of you, or parallel, which is like in a car, but it's a little bit more difficult in a truck, and an alley dock, which is basically you're doing like a 90-degree or 40-degree turn into a dock. That was not easy. The first time I backed because it was very overwhelming. I have two vehicles that I'm trying to control, a trailer and a truck. I'm sitting at a different level than I'm used to sitting at. I don't have any way to look behind me besides getting out and looking in my mirrors. So I'm worried I'm going to hit everything. I was so scared that I was going to hit something. That was my biggest fear. I had to get out and look. I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I still get out and look if I'm not sure. And I still get nervous backing into spaces, which I've been told that's still good to have because that means you're not complacent. You still have awareness. I don't think I'll ever be complacent doing this job because I can back into the same truck stop 20 times in a week. It's never going to be the same. Ever. So, my first time was backing. It was a lot. But the way my trainer broke it down for me was easy enough for me to understand that the point of to make sure you're always getting your truck and trailer straight before you make your next move so you can see where you need to put your trailer. As I got more confident in my backing, backing in between two trucks became the challenge. Because the first few times I was backing like there was maybe a truck on one side and a truck maybe a few spaces over, so I had some space. Or I was backing in between just two trailers, or maybe just one trailer, or I was just backing into open spaces. Backing in between two trucks is still intimidating to this day. I don't know why. I guess it's just the nervousness of, oh, I could hit somebody's mirror. Oh, I could hit somebody's truck. I can hit somebody's trailer. I can hit anything. My trainer was very patient for the most part at making sure that I took my time. I didn't rush. I thought it out. I was aware of where my trailer was going. I took my time, making sure that I was making the correct moves, asking myself, where do I want my trailer to go? Because you have to go left to go right, and vice versa. You have to go right to go left when you're reversing. So I had to I gave myself it's weird, silly. So if you're on my YouTube, you can probably see it. I gave myself this mental, visual thing I sometimes do today. So I want my trailer to go to the right, so I gotta go turn my wheel to the left. I literally do that. I'll sit there and say, okay, I want my trailer to go to the right, so I gotta turn my wheel to the left, or I gotta, and vice versa, whatever. The fun part about it is now backing is actually kind of fun to me. I actually have fun doing it. Number one, that's the main way I get paid is by picking up and making deliveries. But just being able to hone my skill, a lot of people don't realize the skill it takes to back a truck and trailer. Some people still struggle with it. I have my moments. I actually struggle in wide open spaces. When I have obstacles on the side of me, man, I can get it into space uh, rather quickly. But when I was first learning, I wasn't really like that. I um, I actually was really good at alley docking out in the real world when it came to practicing on the pad. And I'm gonna kind of show you some video of what the pad looks like, or some photos of what the pad looks like. It's basically an open piece of land where there's cones and there's lines. So the only obstacles you have, I mean, there are the occasional trucks that are out here, that other students are backing and stuff, but close obstacles are the cones. So in your mind, you're like, cone ain't gonna do nothing. I can hit a cone, so I can do anything. But you don't want to hit a cone because, when you test, that's points. Well, I was good at backing in between two trucks at a truck stop. I got the concept of what I wanted my trailer to do because my trainer always had good tips on what to look for, how I needed to get my trailer, what I needed to do to fix something. Not going past straight, not, when my tandems are almost parallel with that line, go ahead and, correct and turn my wheel in whatever direction I needed to go to get straight. So, which as a seasoned driver, I refer to as he hates when I refer to like this getting under the trailer. But that's what I do. But to get straight, if I'm straight already or straight enough and I need to get fully straight, another thing that he taught me was get your numbers back. Whatever numbers are on your side that you can't see that are like less than the other side, turn towards those numbers when you're reversing. So I still use those tools to this day. It's very helpful to be able to have those tools to use as I even now as a seasoned driver. I still feel like I'm a rookie though. I still feel like there's still so much more that I could learn. More so on the maintenance side, self repairs and doing stuff myself. I've never been a mechanically inclined person to be able to fix stuff. But I try, I try to do my best that I can. And if that doesn't work, then, it is what it is. But the other thing that I try to do is remember my beginnings, remembering that I struggled a lot with certain maneuvers that now I pretty much don't struggle with as much. And my main struggle was my parallel. I love doing the parallel versus the alley dock on the pad. I just could not I felt like I didn't have enough space to do my alley dock out here on the pad. Now I can do it, pretty much just fine. But I feel like I didn't have enough space. But the other thing is, too, I felt like even though I could parallel pretty easily with the steps that they provide, I still felt overwhelmed with trying to get a big 73-foot combo semi tractor trailer into a space. I struggled because I overthought, I overcorrected, I just basically overdid everything because I did not get the concept of it at first. My trainer still was very patient for the most part. Of course, the frustrations get there, like where it's like you had it, now you're not doing it. Like, what's going on? Never got like mad or anything like that. But he did, he was a little frustrated with certain things. And so I was backing a lot for the majority of the first 2-3 weeks of me with my permit, because you're on with a trucking lady here, and that means you're listening to me through YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Music, wherever you get your podcast from. In my podcast, I've shared so far my experiences as a trucker coming into this industry, and I have so much more to share. But if I've inspired you to take that leap to become a truck driver yourself, I want you to join me here at Prime. Here, you will get your training, your experience, knowledge, and expertise from some of the greatest drivers out there on the road, not to mention the safest. If you don't believe me, you can look up primeinc.com. Contact a recruiter at 1-877-491-1108. Give them my driver referral code, ALLSIA. We hope to see you rolling next to us on the road. Because I wasn't on the pad every day, I had to get some type of backing experience to learn how to control the trailer. Because not everybody that comes to Prime, they might not get a trainer right away. So you have to go through the pad class where you're basically at the pad doing backing maneuvers, and then you might go out on the road for, an hour or so a day, provided, it's able to happen. But, the students that have the pad practice get more the backing techniques down and the pre-trip down a lot more, because that's all they're pretty much doing. Whereas in real world, I'm driving a lot more. I am backing, but not on the level that they are backing. Like, they're backing 4 or 5 hours maybe a day, whereas I'm backing maybe an hour or two a day, practicing, pulling out of space, telling me to set it up over here and do this, and backing in and out of doors and stuff like that. I'm also sleeping in the truck, whereas pad students, most of them are sleeping in the hotel. So I'm getting that real world experience. And the trucking lifestyle definitely is an experience. And I'll get more into that in my next episode. But I will say that for those that are wanting to come into this industry or new into this industry, getting ready to test, getting ready to actually take your driving test, or people that are just starting out, backing is something that will come with experience. One day you're going to wake up and it's just going to click. And you might hear this a lot. It literally, you just wake up and it clicks. Mine clicked a little bit earlier than some people. It's a whole different mindset. You're not going to be proficient at it just to get your CDL. You have the basic skills to pass the test. That's all you need to know. It's because they're trying to make sure you can control that trailer enough to get it where you need it to go without hitting anything. By no means will you be an advanced backer. No means are you expected to be an advanced backer, maneuvering around obstacles, doing what we call the snake to get into the position, pull the trailer over or inch over. There's been times where I had to get in spaces and it wasn't enough pull-up space, and I had to literally inch my trailer over. Those are all advanced maneuvers, and there's probably some I still don't even know. I don't blindside back. Blindside is so if I'm alley docking, I can see my space from my driver window. Well, if I'm blindsiding, I have to look out the passenger mirror. I've done it when I had a co-driver and I had a spotter, but I won't do it myself unless there's like nothing on either side of me and I have that room to make that mistake. I'm not comfortable with that, but I feel that should be something that's taught, because there are some shippers and receivers that their docks are set up to be blindsided. So my thing is, there's two things that need to happen here. Either it shouldn't be allowed to have blindside parking or backing if it's not required for the test, or they need to require it for the test. They require that you parallel park. I've used parallel parking maybe 2 or 3 times at rest areas. Never had to use it in the real world for anything. So I think instead of doing the parallel parking, let's do 2 alley docks. Let's do a regular alley dock and an alley dock, a blindside alley dock. That way people can get the idea of having to alley dock blindside, tips on how to get over that hurdle. Because that is very overwhelming. That's very stressful. The times that I've had to do it, it was nighttime. It was a tight area, and I had to rely on somebody else to really put me at ease. Even though I got out and looked like 20 times, I kept moving my mirror around. That's not a concept that's taught. It's like you learn it out there in the real world. I think that's something that needs to be changed, and I might have to voice my opinion on that. Some of you, experienced truckers be like, "Oh, you're whining about that." I'm not whining about it. I just think that if it's taught, a lot of people won't be so afraid to do it. I know some trainers out there will teach their students to blindside. My instructor had different feelings on blindsiding. And I agree with him. It's almost on the same lines of you shouldn't do it. I guess I've only had to blindside twice, and it was all the same receiver. Had the same load these 2 times, so it was the same receiver. So that's the only 2 times I've had to blindside. Now I do it. I will blindside into a truck stop, but there's no trucks around. I have like 3 or 4 spaces on either side of me, just to kind of make myself comfortable. When I first did my blindside, I felt like I got it a lot quicker into the hole and we say in the hole, that means the space or the door, than doing regular alley dock. I don't know, it just seemed like that. But I will say that I, as a experienced driver now, even for new drivers, to how you build up your skills, don't take the easiest spots. Don't take the pull through. Don't take the spot that you can, pull forward or and straight line back into a space. Try to alley dock when you can. Even if it's in the back of the truck stop. Go find somewhere to, park. Even if you don't want to stay there, just do a couple times. Just park it. Maybe you just have a truck on your left side. Hone your skills. Hone your skills. Backing is not for the faint of heart. Backing is not that's something that's that easy. Backing is something that you have to develop. Some people it comes quicker, some people it doesn't. Some people get the concept, some people need a little work. It's not something that I don't ever want to shame anybody for not being able to back. What I shame people for is not asking for help, and I shame people for I see these videos out here where people recording people hitting other people's trucks when they're backing into a space instead of getting out to say, "Hey, do you need help?" I was just at a shipper. Oh, no, it was a receiver up in Pennsylvania a few weeks ago. And it was a tight ass place. And the guy was backing in next to me. Number one, I'm going to get out and help because you backing in and you're blind side. You're going to hit me. I don't want you to hit me. I've been hit. Another story for another time. But I'm going to get out and help. Plus, I'm going to make your job easier so you're not having to of course, get out and look on your own. Because even when I do have help, I still get out and look on my own. 2 reasons. I'm still responsible if I hit somebody. And 2, I can't 100% tell what I need to do unless I get back in the back of the trailer and see where I need my trailer to go. And that's just tips that you might want to take for future drivers, current drivers, anybody that's listening. But I still wanted to get out and help him, make sure he could see his blind side. That's just the type of person I am. I'm going to get out and help. He was a veteran. He'd been out here for 30 some years. And he actually told me, he was like, "You know what? I've been out here for so long that I don't get out and look, but I should have." But he was like, "Guess what? You're like the 5th person maybe to help me in the last 5 years to get out and actually physically help me without me asking for it. I wasn't struggling, but you still got out just so I can see." He thanked me for that. And that made me feel like I did something that somebody appreciated. I did something that will go as unforgettable, I guess, in a sense. I try to do stuff I would like for people to do for me out here. Sometimes I don't need help, but I appreciate when people do. I don't get mad. I don't tell them go away. You know, I appreciate people for their help, because another thing that happens too is somebody else sees a different perspective that I didn't, or they give me a tip that I didn't know about. I'm always willing to learn as a novice. I still consider myself a novice. I'm not an advanced driver. I'm not a beginner, but I'm like right in the middle. I have so much learning to learn. And one thing that will say that this career, I'm learning something new every day in this career field. It challenges me. I love challenges. I love to grow. I love for people to grow. I love for people in their life to just grow in general. Um, so in this career field, I would love to grow more. I love to help other people grow. I like learning from other people. Um, so once again, the takeaway from this episode is backing is actually fun. It's overwhelming, but I actually have fun backing up into spaces, especially when people see that I'm a female and I drive for a mega carrier and that I can get in that space. I've been to quite a few places that I will say that people compliment me on my backing technique. They compliment me on how I back into a space, and I have to give my backing developmental skills to my trainer because he was knowledgeable. He took his time in explaining stuff and why it was done a certain way, that I'm able to be confident in the backer that I am today. So I take that and I want you out there to challenge yourselves to increase your backing skills for those truck drivers out there that struggle or just want to keep themselves on on their toes. So I'm going to end this episode with that and get into my diva moment. Thank you again for joining A Truckin Lady here. I'll be right back with episode 6. Thank you. Woohoo! She passed! She passed! Yay! Oh, it's such a big relief. To feel like your first student still passes the test makes me feel like I did my job. That's what I was concerned about. Yay! Diva Moment 5. What's up, y'all? Truckin' Lady here. I'm back in Pennsylvania. They keep me up in the Northeast for whatever reason. Um, so one thing I really want to just focus on today that really frustrates me is when I have to go to the damn bathroom. Like when I really, 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 really have to go to the bathroom. See, what people out here, four wheelers, people that are in, easier accessible vehicles, don't realize it's a lot harder for a trucker to go to the bathroom, especially when we're females. Because most men can pee in bottles or whatever, and they can just pee right from their seat. It's disgusting, but they do while they're driving. But for us females, no, we need that good old porcelain dome thing, whatever you want to call it, the commode, whatever. Um, Military, if you need that latrine. But I hate having to go to the bathroom and trying to find somewhere to go to the restroom. Especially if it's like early hours or late at night. Like if it's like after 9 p.m., anywhere up to like 4 a.m., especially if it's like a rest area or somewhere. And first of all, you got to find a parking spot for a big ass truck. Ain't a little car. I can't just pull into a little car space. Can't just pull off to the side of the road. I mean, I can. It's not safe, but the thing is that people don't realize how frustrating it is to have to wait. Uh, you know, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90 miles going up and down hills, so I'm not staying at the consistent speed.
If I'm saying like if I'm going 62, I might not stay 62 if I'm going uphill because if I'm heavy, my that momentum gets lost in the pulling of the truck. So that 60 some miles that would normally take maybe an hour for me to go if I was on flat land, might take me more closer to 80 minutes because of all the ups and downs. Those moments when I gotta go to the restroom, oh my God, I just like I'm sitting there really just contemplating my life choices at that moment because it's like it feels like I ain't gonna be able to recover from it. It hurts having to hold it. I have had to really, 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 really prepare myself and take cranberry pills. Drink a lot of cranberry. I have to time myself. Like I can go about the most I can go in between driving. In between like road breaks, if I'm just doing straight drivings, especially like straight driving, meaning like I'm doing like a 500 plus mile a day, with no deliveries or drop deliveries or pickups on those days. It's just strictly driving from point A to point B. Um, I can go maybe 5 hours, but if I don't eat anything, especially first thing in the morning, I know I'm gonna have to stop within the first 2.5, 3 hours at the latest. But I have conditioned myself to get better. I make sure I plan. It's part of trip planning. That's another thing about things too. We got a trip plan. You can't just get in the truck and automatically assume, because you can think, oh, okay, I know a rest area is coming up in 35 miles, but that rest area might be under construction, so therefore it's closed, and you might not have a truck stop nearby. So you have to really just be conscious of that. But really, what frustrates me is I pull into a truck stop and I gotta go to the bathroom, so I gotta find somewhere to park my truck. I can do one or two things: pull up in the fuel aisle or park in a parking space. Most times, if I know I'm just really just going to the bathroom, what I'll do is I'll try to just pull up in a fuel aisle. But I don't pull up in a fuel aisle and like if there's nobody in front of me in the fuel aisle, then I pull all the way up to the little fuel line where it's past the fuel pumps. So that way somebody can at least still fuel behind me. But most times, especially if it's a busy truck stop, if it's like two, three trucks in a line, I might get in the truck that might have two or three trucks in a line. That way I'm not preventing anybody from getting fuel because I'm just going to the restroom and that's it. But I really, 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 really hate when I have to go to the damn bathroom and somebody taking their damn time, like come on to back into a space. It's like, oh my God, like I gotta go to the bathroom. That's so irritating. um, but yeah, trying to go to the bathroom and find somewhere to go to the bathroom could be a challenge out here. Sometimes if you have the bubble guts, ooh, your life does not want to cooperate uh at all. Oh, look at this. I'm about to leave out of PA and hit New York. So going all the way up to Maine. Yeah, Maine, Massachusetts area. No, not Maine, Massachusetts. Maine, the state. Be going through Massachusetts and Connecticut and Vermont, all those places. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Going to the bathroom. Like right now, I'm up here in the Northeast, and there aren't a lot of places to stop. I just passed around. I just passed a rest area sign. It's now 4 a.m. There's no trucks allowed between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. So if I have to go to the restroom, I can't go to that rest area because it's not within the hours the trucks are allowed to be there. So basically, you can't park there overnight. You can park there in the daytime, but not at night. So a lot of people don't realize that's really hard for us is to find somewhere to park. We can't park everywhere. And then we get to these rest areas. Some of these rest areas, especially out west, you have cars parked there. Not cars that's pulling anything, or I can understand if it's like a car pulling maybe a U-Haul trailer or a truck pulling a RV or something like that, pulling some type of trailer or something else. And they need the space. But if you just a car and you just parked in one of our truck spaces, that inconveniences us because we can't just pull into the car place to park. We 70 feet long, 70 feet plus long. We can't just pull into a little car space, but we have these little cars taking up truck spaces. We federally have to shut down at a certain time. A car can drive 1,000 miles in a day if it wants to, and is not regulated. But we have to have parking at the end of the day. That's another thing. We have to have parking at the end of the day. And side note, I wish they had parking for females, like female truck drivers, because that way we could be closer to like a well lit area. A lot of male truckers don't really care about that, but female truckers, most times we try to park in the most safest areas, closest to the front, and a well lit area. And they should have truck driving spots just for that. And plus, we need access to the restroom because we can't hold our urine as quick as, I mean, as long as a guy can. We can't hold our urine as long as a guy can. We can't hold our urine at that long. Our urethra tube is much shorter than a man's, so we have to run sometimes to get to the bathroom. And whoever decided that truckers, I mean, I understand truckers we do need exercise, but whoever decided that we need to walk 20 or 30 miles to get to not really 20 or 30 miles, but it just feels like that to get to the restroom or to get somewhere, truck stop, whatever, even if you're not using the restroom, but you still got to park hella far. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some of this stuff is really ridiculous that's out here that people don't even realize that we deal with. So, um, anywho, what is this? Um, about to stop and get me some coffee and some water and some donuts because I need me that sugar rush. I really need that in the morning to help me get by. Um, so I'm about to get off of this exit here and do what I just said I was going to do. Pull up in the fuel aisle, but I'm gonna try not to block the pumps because I know people hate that. I don't take my 30 minute in the fuel pump aisle unless I'm like behind a whole bunch of trucks to start out and I'm able to get like the first 15 minutes in and I do have to fuel. Then I'll do my 30 minutes during that time because I'm able to do all that in 30 minutes. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, the fuel aisles sometimes can be kind of busy. So um, when you pull up to the fuel aisle, you first have to you first have to no, excuse me. I need to go to the left. Um, you first have to pull into the fuel aisle. Sometimes it might be one truck at the pull up line, and then there might be a truck in the actual fuel aisle fueling, and then usually there might be someone behind them or not someone behind them. But usually what I do is I try to get one that has at least two trucks deep, meaning someone's at the line, and then I can pull up behind the person that's fueling. That way it gives me a few minutes because I know it's going to take some time for those people to actually kind of get out of the way. Um, once I get my fuel and stuff, usually by that point it's like 20 minutes, 23 minutes or so before my break is up. So if there's nobody behind me, of course, if there is, I'll try to go pull in somewhere and park. But if there is nobody behind me, I might just run in real quick, go to the restroom, grab me some grab me some something to drink, go to the restroom, grab a snack maybe, and go on about my day. So I have arrived at my truck fueling or truck stop location up here in New York, just crossed into New York. So I am going to sign off of here as a trucking lady. What y'all 20?